Welcome back. Every Thursday right here on News 9 at 9 a.m. we go in depth with the Oklahoma City Police Chief Wade Gourley.
This week we're chatting with the chief about how law enforcement work together to protect the public, especially after that shooting last month at the Oklahoma State Fair. Here's Lisa Monahan.
Every week we chat with Oklahoma City Police Chief Wade Gourley about issues facing our city, and this week we're talking about last month's shooting at the Oklahoma City State Fair. We know law enforcement from multiple agencies are on scene during the fair. Chief, can you talk a little bit about what teamwork occurs when a call about a possible shooting comes out?
So with the fair, the planning starts well ahead of the event, where we get together with other agencies that will be working out there, talk about communication and those things as well. The good thing is, I think we've talked about before, that in Oklahoma County and the Oklahoma City metro area, most agencies are on our radio system. So that communication, which is key during a big event like that, especially not just the fair itself, but if something was to happen out there, is really key in making sure we can talk and communicate and do what we need to do.
I know from the investigative standpoint, there were hundreds of people at the fair, potential eyewitnesses. How does that complicate an investigation?
It can complicate it. We've done a lot of things over the last few years to bring a lot of our investigative tools out to the location. So with our safety center being out at the fair, with some other tools that we have, we've come out and looked at, our interview van and other things like that we can bring out to a scene to use. It makes it a little bit easier, so you don't have to tie people up and bring them downtown. And you try to locate and identify those folks that were really probably most beneficial as a witness. But the thing about the fair now too is we have cameras everywhere out there. So this entire, pretty much the whole event and what happened afterwards leading to the apprehension of the suspect and all of that was due to the work of, not only the technology, the cameras that were out there, but analysts behind the scenes that are watching and viewing what's going on in real time.
It's obvious that a lot of preparation went into the event of something like that occurring. One thing that I was thinking about here, OCPD dispatchers. I can only imagine, we don't have specific numbers, but they were likely flooded with phone calls of potential witnesses or folks just scared, panicked out at the fair when the shooting call came out. What advice would you give to the public when they're making a call to 911? We know dispatchers are trained for these emergency situations and panic and stress, but what can we do on our end to help them out?
It's hard. The easy thing is people always say remain calm, and that's hard to do in that situation. I understand that. And we also, too, we don't ever want to discourage somebody from calling just in case we're not getting the information that we need. So I always tell people, when you do call, make sure whatever information you have that you provide that as quickly as possible. And think about, your location, what you're hearing, what you're seeing. Those are the kind of things that are real important. And sometimes, too, your information may be that the dispatchers already have that, but that's okay. They'll tell you that. But this is the type of event that generates a lot of calls. And it wasn't just calls that were related to the shooting. There was a lot of people that got separated. So you had missing family members and children and things like that. And then also people that were trying to get out of the venue and out of the parking lot that may have had problems, doing that. And so those dispatchers were handling a wide array of calls. They do a really good job. We're actually looking at some technology now to help those dispatchers in these type of instances make sure that those calls get routed to where they need to go, and so there won't be as many delays. And I'm sure during some of this process, some people probably weren't getting right directly through to 911 at that time. But the good thing is those calls to 911, while they're valuable, what we had on scene out there's a process already for that. And so anything that was going on there at the fair was being handled separate radio channel, separate events location, all of that. And so we had a real broad response to that generated and located or originated right there at the fair. So that was very helpful for us too.
Oh, thank you for all you guys did out there at the fair. We so appreciate your insight each and every week. Thanks for being with us. And if you have a question for the chief, we'd love to get you some answers. Just send an email to chatwiththechief@griffin.news. We'll see you next week.